Bitcoin holders, here is your warning. Shit's about to hit the fan because we are seeing central bank interest rate cuts starting to happen. The Fed won't be able to hold out much longer. Jobs data is coming in. We'll break that down, understand the macro situation, look at the Bitcoin ETF flows, and other stuff. Lots of big things going on in today's video, so stick around. It's going to be a good time. Let's get straight into it with the rate cuts. So have a look at this. Bank of Canada reduces policy rate by 25 basis points. Now, we've had other central banks cutting already. Canada is just the latest in a string of central bank rate cuts. Places like Mexico and others are cutting rates. EU, this is very impactful because the European Union as a single economic entity is one of the biggest on the planet, and Eurozone financial policy is incredibly important. So the ECB, the European Central Bank, to cut interest rates for the first time in 5 years, going down to 3.75% from a record high of 4%. The ECB said in a statement that price pressures have weakened, inflation expectations have declined at all horizons, allowing it to start loosening credit. And that's what these bank interest rate cuts are all about. Credit is going to start loosening up. As the interest rates come down, it means that businesses can borrow easier. It means that regular people can borrow easier. It brings more money back into the system, more spending back into the system, bringing asset prices hopefully up, as long as there's not horrific recessions starting around the globe. And this is kind of the last ditch effort by central banks, but we don't have the US in a recession right now. Some major economies hit recessions. Technically, US hit a recession in 2022. His first 2 quarters were contracting, but that's a different story because we don't count it like that anymore. They changed the metrics. When things don't go your way, just change the definitions. Also in the United States, announcing the seasonally adjusted non-farm payrolls have increased to 272,000 in May, the largest increase since March of this year, higher than market expectations, and a sharp increase from 175,000 in the previous month. The U.S. unemployment rate rose to 4% in May, the first time since January 2022 that it's higher than market expectations, and it had remained below 4% for 27 consecutive months. Now, Peter Schiff weighing in. Once again, traders don't understand the jobs report. Most of the 272,000 jobs supposedly created in May likely don't exist. The unemployment rate rose to 4%, while labor force participation fell to 62.5%, declining labor force participation and rising wages, evidence of stagflation. Higher for longer inflation is a problem, without a doubt, and the Fed knows that. And with stagnant wages, we're not in a good place. I know stock markets are roaring, and stock markets will probably continue to roar despite all of this going on, because all of this puts more and more pressure on the Fed. The Fed is going to have to cut rates sooner than later. I see expectations now for around a September cut. Now, we may not see dramatic cuts straight out of the gate. Maybe we'll just see 1 or 2 rate cuts this year, but the rate cuts are coming. Make no mistake. And as the rate cuts come in the USA, money will start to move out of money market accounts where they're earning an easy 5.5% or whatever on their dollars right now. That money market money is about $6 trillion right now. If $1 trillion of that enters the stock market and the crypto markets, watch out. And of course, again, it makes it easier for corporations to be borrowing money, creates more business, they can hire more people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Big things are afoot right now, and the Fed can't hold out much longer. Not just because of all this stuff, but realistically, because the Fed has so much debt rolling over all the time, unless they change course quickly, their interest payments on that debt are going to be so crushing that they simply cannot sustain. They have to cut. Their backs are against the wall. They've painted themselves into a corner. And of course, for our risk assets, very interesting times are ahead, my friends. Very interesting times indeed. And look at this. Here's some crazy numbers for you. Bitcoin Magazine sharing spot Bitcoin ETF bought 12,508 Bitcoin yesterday. This was 2 days ago when we almost had that $1 billion day, whereas miners only produced 450 Bitcoin on the day. Holy shit, man. Just what? That's crazy numbers. Bitcoin ETFs, just American Bitcoin ETFs. We're not talking about the Australian ones. We're not talking about the British ones. We're not talking about the Canadians or the Brazilians or the Chinese out of Hong Kong. Oh no, just US spot Bitcoin ETFs bought 12,000 more Bitcoin than Bitcoin miners produced on the day. Are you seeing the big picture here? It's absolute insanity. BlackRock and Fidelity now own a combined 471,000 Bitcoin. Think about this. Just BlackRock and Fidelity by the end of the year could be at 1 million Bitcoin between the two of them. If we keep even vaguely at these rates, these two organizations might hold 1 million Bitcoin by the end of the year. Do you realize the implications of that? How insane that is, what that does for the price of the asset and the entire cryptocurrency market in terms of bringing in liquidity and a wealth effect. Big times are ahead. Bitcoin News sharing nearly $500 million flow into Bitcoin ETFs on Wednesday. So we had about almost $1 billion on Tuesday, $500 million yesterday on Wednesday. Big numbers here that we are seeing. BlackRock Bitcoin ETF had $347 million on Thursday. So like we are seeing wild numbers coming in this week. Huge volumes coming into Bitcoin every single day this week. Bitcoin won't be at these prices for much longer with that kind of massive pressure coming in. Semler Scientific, we covered these guys recently, by the way. This is interesting. They raised $150 million to buy more Bitcoin. They already bought $58 million of the Bitcoin. They are going after the MicroStrategy play. Now, look, $150 million, I know, grand scheme of things, we just had billions go in. Sure, okay, not the biggest spend in the world. But how long until another company does this, and then another company, and then another company, and then another company, and dozens of companies are doing this? There is not enough freaking Bitcoin, especially when you consider the current prices, okay? By the way, just food for thought. NVIDIA's market cap is now larger than all crypto combined. How insane is that? I mean, the NVIDIA runs me nuts. That's one thing. But just how early are we still with crypto where it is not even as a total market, every single coin you've ever heard of is not all combined, are not worth more than NVIDIA. Crazy shit. Real quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is iTrust. Guys, if you want a way to have tax efficient crypto trading, you might want to look into iTrust. You can come over here, do 1,000 trades and never once hit a taxable event. That's powerful. If you've been trading crypto, you know taxable events suck big time. You can bring over your existing IRA, start a new one, roll over your 401k, whatever the three-number tax retirement plan that you have. This lets you wrap your trading in a tax-efficient structure. You can trade Dogecoin and Ethereum and Solana and all the popular coins. They got the goods over here. You can buy and sell crypto 365 days a year, 24/7, like the crypto markets move, not like ETF products. They're only open 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, excluding bank holidays. Come on, that's not the crypto way. Low costs, no monthly fees. They're the biggest crypto IRA provider. They even have gold and silver, real stuff via the partnership with Kitco, which is also pretty gosh darn cool. You can do in-kind withdrawals as well. If you want to learn more about what iTrust are doing, link in the description. You'll get a $100 funding bonus as well for checking that out. Thank you very much. So let's talk about the price of Bitcoin. Rejected again, man. This box right here, I've been talking about this box a little bit. This box right here, it's the box to beat. The orange line particularly is the line to beat. You can see today's price rally basically up to that 72K line, smacked back down again, just smack right in the face. That box area, more broadly, that is the range of resistance that we need to overcome. Once we get over this, nothing but blue skies ahead, man, up till probably 90K or something, where you start seeing massive profit taking again from whales and all that kind of stuff. Very interesting place for the markets to be. And the price went down today as equities went down a little bit on that jobs report because, okay, some more jobs are added, but the overall unemployment rate's up and blah, 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 bullshit, macro stuff, right? Worth paying attention to. It does move markets. And we see crypto markets moving very closely, of course, with equity markets. Still, though, that's our range. That's the price to beat. The money printers are coming on. The interest rates are cutting. I mean, it's all lining up for some wild macro conditions that are going to be good for risk assets. Now, check this out. Mr. Crypto sharing this one. People underestimate how significant this Bitcoin signal is. So this is the Bollinger Band width. So basically, when we have these periods of massive compression, like we currently have, it tends to lead to massive volatility. As you can see, every time we get down into this range, we hit big volatility afterwards. Now, it's not always upside volatility. You do have to understand that. The Bollinger Bands tend to be a little bit more less definitive, we can say, when it comes to the direction it's going to go in, but we are in an uptrending market more broadly right now, currently, of course, in a corrective phase where we're consolidating. We're getting closer and closer, only a few percentage points away from new all-time highs. Volatility is coming. Only question is how soon it comes. Big news, lots of big news today in the altcoin space, by the way. Coinbase has released their smart wallet. It's here. We have a tutorial coming for you guys probably next week, so keep an eye out for that if you want to know more about that and how it works and all that fun kind of stuff. But this is a big, big moment because that smart wallet, it's not overnight, but that smart wallet over the next year is going to onboard millions of people onto Base specifically. That means my Aerodrome bags, my Brett bags, my Benji bags. Oh, they're going higher, aren't they? They're all going higher. If you're ever seeing my portfolio disclosures, link in the description, pin comment on X. Willy Woo, this is a massive story, by the way. And this is a day of massive stories. And I know we're always saying that, but man, things have been crazy recently. It's a frothy market full of all kinds of wild news. This is potentially a very, very big deal. So pay attention. Willy Woo pointing out this story here that the third largest offshore exchange, Bybit, has suddenly opened up registration and authentication for users in China. This is a big deal. If you don't know about the China situation, this is a big deal. Bybit has long strictly prohibited the registration and use of all Chinese users. The management team has been very cautious about this. That means that somebody got the nod, the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that China is apparently slowly opening back up to the cryptocurrency markets. The fact that Bybit felt confident enough to do this, somebody said something. Somebody somewhere knows something. As Willy Woo points out, Asia is already bigger than the US and EU combined. China is a sleeping giant. China loves crypto markets. Boo. Oh, man. Crap. If China is back, I don't even know what to say, guys. You need to up all your targets. If China is back, I mean, holy crap. All your coins are going to go way higher than you think. You want to know how prices go higher. You want to know what the rocket fuel is for this cycle. Chinese investors are going to be a massive part of it. We have Bitcoin ETFs spreading across the world. We have corporations aping into Bitcoin. And if China's back, watch out, dude. Oh, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be crazy. Also, Kraken bringing out their IPO. They're said to be in talks for pre-IPO fundraising rounds. Now, as Toshi Flipper points out, perfect timing. Kraken's IPO will mark the cycle top during the first half of 2025, just like Coinbase did last time around in 2021. Perhaps that would be fitting, wouldn't it? Lots of excitement, hype. China's back. Bitcoin ETFs are flowing like crazy. Bitcoin's at 150K, blah, blah, blah. Maybe 215. Kraken IPO, boom. Good night. See you later, market. We'll see if it plays out again like that this time. Also, big news from Robinhood. So Jesse points out here, the number one retail stock trading app casually acquiring a crypto exchange, saying crypto will fundamentally reorganize the financial system. So Robinhood just bought the Bitstamp exchange for $200 million. That's a very big story because Robinhood, of course, already into crypto, one of the biggest stock trading apps out there, and they've just bought a cryptocurrency exchange. Big potential for Robinhood to go even deeper into the crypto world. So guys, huge things happening right now. This market is absolutely primed and getting crazy. And I know you're thinking, well, why isn't the price breaking out? Why aren't we at 90K yet, Lark? Patience. Nothing happens overnight in markets. Look at the direction we're heading in. Look at the big picture. Look at all the stories. China potentially back. Massive. Big IPOs happening. Coinbase smart wallets here. Rate cuts are coming. Money printing is happening. The Fed's buying back $2 billion a week in bonds starting last week, I think. Big things are happening. Are you paying attention? Thanks for watching.